Aloha again to all the beautiful women out there watching this video. And before I begin, I want to thank God and Gaia and the universe and my ancestral spirit guides for helping me on this journey in understanding and controlling my body dysmorphia, or BDD. And then I also want to extend a thank you to all the other women out there who are inspiration to me, because they talk about their issues and how they overcame them, and it gives me hope. It also allows me to feel that I'm not the only one suffering in this manner. So thank you to those sources. One thing I learned, and I've been going through really a focus on ending my thoughts of horrible thoughts of myself for the last, I would say, 9 months, really more intently trying to correct it since the summer. And I want to encourage you to get help. I did get psychological help through a psychologist here in Hawaii who is wonderful, and it's all through telehealth visits, no in-office visits. But so I do want to encourage you to do that if you are suffering from body dysmorphia. And my body dysmorphia was pretty extreme when I reached out for help. I was obsessive over it. I was obsessive about my face or wrinkles. I was obsessive about my skin and my flab and working out. And it had really just taken over my mind. I couldn't look in the mirror because I would just judge myself so harshly. And I knew that was not how I wanted to be. So I made the call. I just said, you know, I've got to get help for this. And I undertook that path so that I could get past these feelings and be who I truly wanted to be, because I'm a positive, loving, kind, and generous woman, but I wasn't being those things to myself. So this is probably my last video on BDD. I have about 5 or 6 others on my other YouTube channel, which is Aloha, again, Hawaii, that I'm now dedicating only to Hawaii spots and the energy here on the island and all things Hawaii and information about living in Hawaii. So if you're interested in that, you can watch the other videos on BDD, as well as I'm just now introducing the Hawaii videos. But one thing I learned through my journey was that society really contributes to a woman's body dysmorphia with the constant focus on things like wrinkles or flab. We see it in commercial products, Spanx, the wrinkle creams. There's just such a focus that it's almost like, women, how can we not focus on those issues ourselves when it's all over on commercials, and we see it every day, and it's so much more so for women than for men. So I learned that, and that when you really realize something like that, hey, this is something that's being thrown at me every day, it kind of helps in the understanding of how I got this way. Now, that's not the only thing. I'm not going to tell you. That just contributes to it. What I realized of how to end my BDD is what really set me on the path is hearing a couple of things from different people. And one was, you attract who you are and what you are. And I started thinking, wow, if I attract who and what I am, I don't want to allow that low self-esteem, that criticism of myself, that lack of confidence. So I need to change that. That was really a driving force, because, I want to attract in my soul tribe people that are like me. And if I have all these hang-ups and things like that, I'm going to attract that type of individual into my soul family. And I didn't want that. I was like, okay, I've had enough of that kind of thought and that kind of lifestyle. I really want to raise myself up to a different level. So I've got to get past this. I've got to beat it. Then I also, this was the biggie, if you can see that. If I don't allow another person to speak to me the way that I'm speaking to myself, or I don't speak to another person, I would never think of speaking to another person that way, then I need to stop doing it. I really need to stop doing it to myself. That's, you're old, your eyes are droopy, you have too much flab on your legs, all kinds of horrible things that I would say to myself in my mind as I looked in the mirror. When I look in the mirror, I was like, I wouldn't allow that in a friend. I wouldn't allow that in a companion or a partner. So why am I allowing myself to do that to me? And that really helped me move forward past that, because I was like, okay. And it's something I work on every day still. I work on every day. I catch myself if I say something like, oh, look at your legs, there's so much flab on it and cellulite or whatever, then I have to catch myself and say, no, this is normal. You are no different than anyone else, and don't, degrade yourself that way. And, I have to give credit to my daughter about cellulite. She said something to me one time that I just was amazed. Like I say, women who give me inspiration. She mentioned that she would just look at herself in the shower and just become accustomed to her body and accept it. And then she also said that cellulite, she liked the cellulite, that it was like kind of like a pattern, like an animal, or some pattern on her body. And I was like, wow, that is just such an enlightened way to look at it. And it helped me start thinking differently of that kind of characteristic on my own body. The next thing that really I think was a turning point for me was that I am not, that means my worth is not how people treat me. And that if someone treats me badly, it's not a reflection of who I am, it's a reflection of who they are. During this discovery of mine, that I had such a deep issue with body dysmorphia. I was going through a divorce, and I was hearing terrible things like, I hate you, and you're white trash, and I hope you die, and just horrible things. And I noticed that after those instances, oh my gosh, I would get so hard on myself. And it took me a little bit of time before I realized I am not these things that this person is saying to me. I am me, and that is a reflection of what they think and who they are, and not really based on me. So that was huge. That was really huge in my, in turning this BDD around to where I feel like I'm on the other side of things. And I think that's it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, and how I've gotten through and going through and surviving or thriving through this process of self-talk and degradation and I don't know what you want to call it, but it was just overwhelming at times and obsessive. And I've gotten past that. And I wanted to share that with other women out there, that if you are suffering from body dysmorphia, I encourage you to get help. You're not the only one. My gosh, there's so many. I mean, look at the filters on social media. We can see what a lot of women feel about themselves by masking and the filters that we use. I'm not saying that we shouldn't use filters or we shouldn't do those things, but I know a lot of women out there are not happy with the way they look, so they do use filters and things to cover that truth of themselves. And so I know this is a bigger problem than we want to admit, and I think it's only getting worse unless we get a handle on it. So I encourage you to look at yourself. And I'm not saying that men don't suffer from body dysmorphia. I know they do as well. And that's why we as a society, as humanity, need to look at how we're talking to ourselves and what we're doing to ourselves by, the conversations we're having in our own head, when we look at in the mirror, when we compare ourselves to other people. We need to realize that we are more than this physical self here during this lifetime. There is beauty within us that is not shown by a physical characteristic, and we cannot let physical characteristics hold us down and our thoughts about them. I hope this video has helped you, and if you don't know what body dysmorphia is, you can do some research. I do have a video that talks about it and what it is, and maybe you'll understand a little bit more whether you have some of these characteristics or not. But if you do, again, I am encouraging you to get help, and I hope this video helped you in some way, and I wish you the best of luck in whatever whatever path you take, and please remember that your beauty comes from within. I'm not saying that there is not outer beauty as well, but your beauty, your true soul beauty that you carry within this life is something that is inside of you, in your head, in your heart, and it's not necessarily what others see when they first look at you. It's not. It's something more. You're more than what you have on the outside or project on the outside. So I will see you in my next video, but have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening.